This video is part one of a two-part series where we look at how to upgrade the USB-NES unit firmware. In this video, we will be focused on updating the main USB-NES Lite firmware. The USB-NES firmware is easy to update via USB. Before updating, however, the first thing you need to do is make sure your computer's hidden and system files are visible. To do this in Windows, use the Start menu search to find the folder's Options box. From the View tab, select Show Hidden Files, Folders, and Drives in the Advanced Settings. Additionally, uncheck the Hide Protected Operating Systems Files box. Now plug your USB-NES into the computer with no cartridge plugged in it. Navigate to the root directory and open version.txt to see what version you have. Head over to usbnes.com/USB-NES Firmware Upgrades Compatibility and scroll down to the stable USB-NES firmware versions available list where you can compare the latest versions of the firmware there with yours. Now click on the stable USB-NES firmware versions available link to spawn the firmware update tool page. From this new page, click on the Browse button to upload a file to the server. Navigate to the USB-NES drive and select Security to Bin. Select the desired firmware version from the drop-down button and press the Upload button. This creates a firmware download link for your unit. Click on it and say Save File. Note that at this point you may save the file directly to the USB-NES unit if your browser allows for this. Once the download is complete, open your Downloads folder to locate the firmware.bin file. Use the drag and drop to copy firmware.bin onto the USB-NES and be sure to confirm to overwrite the existing file. In Linux, use the line command cp to copy firmware.bin onto USB-NES with kernel versions 0.04 or later. When firmware.bin is copied onto USB-NES, the green light on the console will start to blink rapidly. This means it is flashing the new firmware and you must not interrupt the unit until it is done, which usually takes 10 seconds. After a few seconds of inactivity on the green light, you may safely unplug and replug the unit into the computer to remount it. Navigate to the root directory and open version.txt again to confirm the unit upgrade was successful. If the upgrade fails on your unit for any reason, you can always retry the update using the firmware update tool again to get a fresh firmware.bin file. If you are a Linux user and there is no sign of activity on the green light when trying to update the firmware, you will need to update the kernel on your USB-NES. Fortunately, upgrading the kernel is also easy, and so we'll cover how to do that in the next video.